free concert series. We have been doing this for a very long time. 25 years, 26 years, I believe, we've been doing the concerts here at on the Newton Edwards Amphitheater stage. And the Friends were founded more than 33 decades ago to provide for programs and equipment in the park that were not covered by the regular county budget. And over that time, the Friends have supported Mason District Park in many ways, including our summer concerts. And there's information on the back of our fan on the Ossian Hall side that has a website where you can make a tax-deductible contribution to the Fairfax County Park Foundation, or please feed our donation box in the back. No county tax dollars are used to pay the performers that you enjoy here all summer long. We raise all that money privately. Now, I will tell you that in the past, our Capitol Steps crowd has been not terribly generous with their donations. And you can see the Capitol Steps for $25, $50. I was in an event one time where the price was $300 a ticket. Yes, it was a fundraiser, but it was $300 a ticket. So I think probably a few bucks or $5 or $10 in the donation box at the end will show that you really enjoy this show.
Very persuasive.
For your safety and your comfort, and this is extremely important tonight because we are probably at about 700 here tonight, we must keep the aisles clear. That is a fire marshal requirement. Please refrain from smoking while in the amphitheater area, and that's all the way back beyond the tree line tonight. Keep your pets, if you've got your pets here, keep them on a leash. And children are not allowed on the stage, but we do not require them to be on a leash. We do ask that you keep your conversations to a minimum so that everyone can enjoy the show. But I know there's going to be lots of back talk here tonight because of the nature of this show, and we're all going to have a lot of fun. But won't you please now sit back, relax, and join me in welcoming the premier satire group in the entire Washington metropolitan region, the Capitol Steps.
Hello, everybody. I am Melania. It's so nice to be here. You know, some people ask me, why did I marry the Donald? And contrary to what you might think, it was not about the money. When someone like me marries someone like he, some people wonder why I was wowed. It is not the amount in his huge bank account, although you know that's well endowed. He's got something just right when he turns out the light. That's when Donald, he turns on the charm. And my heart sings, that's a small thing, at the end of his arm. I want a man with a small hand. I don't want someone else to be my spouse. Don't want a guy whose arms are dangling big hands, like those big hands you see on Mickey Mouse. I want a guy who has his own brand, a guy who wasn't dealt a full hand. He's my big love, wearing kid gloves. Oh, let's run the country with a small hand. You know our nation has a big wig, and you should know that he cannot start a war because the nuclear button's too big. And when you're with a man with small hands, it makes you look like you've got big hands. Oh!
Where do I start? First of all, I gotta say, there are so many people in this crowd tonight. I've never seen more people in this amphitheater. The fake news will not tell you that there were 1 million people in here tonight. But we on what? He just said 3 million. There are 3 million people crowded in here tonight. Fake news will not tell you that, but we know the truth. There are 9 million people here right now. And thank you for the standing ovation. Please be seated. So much to talk about, so much greatness, so much making America great. I guess I should start with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia. My son does. But I don't know anything about Russia. I assure you, I don't have any intelligence. Everybody keeps asking me questions about Russia. I'm a little tired of it. I think the American people are tired of it. I think that's one of the reasons why I had to fire James Comey, mostly because he was a grandstander. It was a show-off. He had to go. I had to get rid of him. He would say things like, "I'm uncomfortable being left in a room with Donald Trump." I've heard this before. Mostly from beauty pageant contestants. But Comey had to go. I've replaced him with, I don't even know the guy's name, but I'm going to replace that guy too with either Jared or Ivanka or maybe Gary Busey. We're working on that. But enough of this scandal stuff that fake news keeps talking about. Let's talk about all the great stuff that I've accomplished. For example, I pulled us out of that nasty Paris Climate Accord. You're welcome. Yeah, so the next time you're not eaten by a polar bear because they don't exist anymore, you can thank me. Besides Paris, there was also healthcare. Obamacare's a disaster. It's a disaster. Obamacare's exploding. It's imploding. It's exploding and imploding at the same time. And we're going to fix it up. We're going to make it Trump care. Our first attempts didn't go so well. Our do-nothing Congress, mostly the Democrats, they are responsible for messing it all up. And it reminds me of that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't drown it if it doesn't vote for your bill. That's totally a saying. Many people say that saying all the time. We're trying something new. They're working on it. I haven't read it yet, but it's great. It's really great. It's terrific. It's kind of mean, but it's great. It's really great. It's terrific. A lot of people are going to die, but it's great. It's really, really great. So, obviously, my first 100 days were super successful. I want to tell you what I'm going to do in my next 100 days. We'll call it my 200 days. Next up, I'm going to tear down the White House. It's a terrible building. I hate it. It sucks. We're going to tear it down, and in its place, it's going to be gorgeous. You're going to love it. We're going to erect a 36-story, 5-star Zagat-rated Trump White House. It's going to be breathtaking. I've seen the blueprints. The bathrooms, we're going to have chandeliers in all the bathrooms. Diamond-encrusted toilet seats. Each bathroom stall will have a personal attendant because I promised I would create jobs. You're hired. Every stall's toilet paper will be that day's Washington Post. So it's really, really classy. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, who's going to pay for all this? Certainly not the American taxpayer. No, I'm going to make the Mexicans pay for it. In the meantime, well, the White House is kind of a dump. It needs more class to appeal to Donald Trump. People now say I'm insane, 'cause when my work weekends I jump on a plane. Now it's bugging you, say it's not right, but you can't tell Trump where he sleeps at night. When in D.C. I start to dread, I'm dreaming of a place I'd rather be instead. Wake me up at Mar-a-Lago, though it costs a lot, I just say YOLO. Wake me up at Mar-a-Lago, don't wanna listen to folks asking why. Shake it up at Mar-a-Lago, costs way more money than GAO knows. Wake me up at Mar-a-Lago, you're financing each flight. On weekends I say bye. Yeah, yeah. First Lady Melania Trump once again, ladies and gentlemen. Give her a spatter of applause.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Trophy. Did you want to give a speech to the American people?
Yes, I would, darling. I wrote the speech all by myself. I was raised as a black child in Chicago. 47 years ago, I had a dream and asked not what I could do for my country,
Okay.
but what my country could do for my husband.
You're fired.
Thank you for voting for my husband, Barack Trump.
And Mar-a-Lago, I'll resume classified briefings in the dining room. Don't you like golf? You can watch me play.
I love New York, that's where I want to stay. Don't wake me up before you go. I want a travel ban on Mar-a-Lago.
Wake me up at Mar-a-Lago. It is the weekend White House for this guy. Wake me up. Before I go on, I need to bring out another woman who's at least semi-important to me. Kellyanne Conway, ladies and gentlemen. Kellyanne, Melania, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop the Trump administration now.
Oh, I don't know about that, Mr. President. There may be just one thing. He's up in his bathrobe at 6 a.m. telling everybody what he thinks about them.
His knees will feel the heat every time Sir Donald goes.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Someone stop him.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Can't we block him?
Tweet, tweedledee.
Watch out for Donald, cause he's really on a tear tonight.
Here we go. I've been accused of leaking secrets. Fake news! If I leak a secret, it would be something great like our nuclear launch codes. Hashtag IB68KX5.
Tweet, tweet.
Everyone should boycott Nordstrom's. They were mean to Ivanka, and they wouldn't let Kellyanne return this outfit after the inauguration. Sad.
Tweet, tweet.
Millions of women marched after my inauguration. One day in office, and I already got more middle-aged women up off the couch than Michelle's Get Up and Move campaign did in 8 years.
Tweet, tweet. He calls his opponents pundits and press, calling them
Pathetic, you're a loser, a mess.
This one crooked, this one cray-cray. 140 characters can go a long way. There's a crisis
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
with his devices.
Tweedledee.
maybe Melania can make everything come out all right.
If I could start my cyber bullying campaign tonight. Delete, delete, delete.
Hi there. Bill Clinton here, my friends, and you're probably still wondering whether I got hung up in that whole Ashley Madison email hack situation last year. Not me, man, no way. Now, I use Hillary's email to sign up.
Jeff Warren Dunn.
I can't wait till they find that one. That's gonna be great. But you know, speaking of Hillary, she and I go way back together, way back to when I was in college. As a matter of fact, you may remember back then I had a little trouble with the draft. Despite that situation, Hillary stayed with me. And then later on, of course, I was in the Oval Office. I had a few indiscretions along the way. Despite it all, Hillary stayed with me. Then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I left office. I had some health problems. I needed heart surgery. And through that entire ordeal, Hillary was right by my side. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that Hillary is really bad luck.
I didn't know where that was going.
She's with us tonight, my friends, my beautiful wife, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Come on out here, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here in Annandale tonight. And you know, unless you've been on Mars, you know I am not your president, which is a shame because I'd moved a bunch of stuff into the White House. Just kidding. But it's okay. You know, I should have done things differently. In hindsight, I would have gone to the Rust Belt states a few more times. And I should have made that one campaign stop in Moscow. Who knew? And come on, another rich white man instead of a woman. Did you know that the last 44 and a half presidents were all white men? Think about it. At first I was amazed, I was stupefied, kept thinking I could never live if once again denied. But I put all my poise and smarts out there on the campaign trail, to no avail. I wasn't blessed with being male, and now Trump's in. What a disgrace. But I won 3 million more votes than him in the White House race. For 8 years I waited my turn to finally be made your queen, to see my firewall of states fall to that talking tangerine. Did you think I'd go and just be done? And I will pimp slap the next person who says Bernie would have won. My ambition's still alive and I am in it way too deep. When Chelsea wins in 2020, she will name me as her V. Thank you. And on that day, I'll make the case that collusion with the Russians helped my Chelsea win the race. With the White House in my reach, my own daughter I'd impeach. I will survive.
Howdy, folks. Senator Claire McCaskill here. Nice to see you all tonight. Now listen, I know you've been hearing an awful lot of talk, a lot of chatter about the Russians interfering in our last election, but let me tell you something, folks. For the last 10 years or so, I have been serving, along with former Senator, now Attorney General Jeff Sessions, on the Armed Services Committee, and I can't imagine why a Russian ambassador would want to meet with any member of my committee. But anyway, we got to get to the bottom of this whole thing, so please help me welcome Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Well, now I say, hold on. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions has better things to do than deal with all this fiddle-dee-dee. I swear these partisan attacks have given me a case of the vapors. Boy, fetch me a fainting couch, would you, and a cool, refreshing iced tea? No?
Here's a question, Mr. Sessions. Raise your hands and tell us, please. Though we've seen no repercussions, it appears from our discussions that you did meet with the Russians. You said that isn't true, but we found communication between Russia and you. Now the truth is out. What are you gonna do? Huh?
Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. How about it, Miss McCaskill? Why don't you tell us, please, since you Democrats keep losing, do you just blame Russian schmoozing? Because I find it quite amusing that you met Russians too, said you forgot but tweeted.
Audience, here's what you should do. You sing lie, lie, lie if you think we both are through. What do you think?
I know where you all live. Can we forget the Russians yet? I would would say niet.
And now, former President Barack Obama.
And I'm here to speak directly to you, the American people. As you know, I was recently criticized for giving a speech on Wall Street where I was paid $400,000. Now, I know that's a lot of money. To put it in perspective, that's enough money for Michelle and me to both buy memberships in Mar-a-Lago. But let them criticize. I'm not the president anymore, Donald Trump is. You may recall that Donald Trump was one of the people who demanded to see my birth certificate. So now, I'd like to demand to see the birth certificate of whatever it is that is living on Donald's head. Donald Trump will tell you that immigrants are coming and taking jobs from Americans. I never believed this was true until Michelle lost her job to Melania. No. There's some people in the GOP who believe this election gave them a mandate. There are others who hate the idea of a mandate. There's some people who believe that mandates lead to gay marriage. But let's face it, we Democrats didn't do too well in the recent election. So I think our party needs to take a hard look at itself. Therefore, I've invited House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you, Pelosi,
And my brother from another mother, former Vice President Joe Biden. To brainstorm on what we could do to stop the GOP in future elections. Nancy, Joe, let's get right to this. Despite all the research from the Democratic National Committee, our number one issue among average voters is not whether to allow LGBT global warming activist immigrants to use transgender bathrooms. But if we put our heads together, I'm sure we could figure it out and help the party before the next election. Because the three of us make a great team. I have the executive experience.
I have the legislative knowledge.
And I am also here.
Now, Mr. President, one problem is we are not playing to our base voters. We're not.
I agree, Mr. President. We've got to reconnect with them. We've got to stop moving to the middle and reconnect with our base.
Not flying to the base. I can assure you that's not true. Because you know I'm all about the base, so liberal.
We'll energize the base, plead our case, no trouble.
We'll pander to the base with this face, so simple. We're all about that base, about that base. Yeah, it's pretty clear that we went down in flames, but I can't take it when folks say I'm to blame. So I brought that doom to all those blue states. Oh, how we stunk in all the big races. I've seen the voting trends, we're gonna make it stop. Attack the 1% till we are back on top. If you are poor and needy, we'll raise you up and redistribute you as well. So to the bottom from the top.
Now Obama, he told us we never could win with Trump.
Shoo-wop-wop, shoo-wop-wop.
Now we're led by the elephant, so we'll just stare at their rumps.
That booty, that booty. We'll legalize pot, tell illegals to come along.
Shoo-wop-wop, shoo-wop-wop.
I don't care what you guys do, my legacy is still strong. Because you know I'm all about the base, don't panic.
We're all about the base, who embrace organics.
We'll pander to the base as we chase Hispanics. We all gotta stay face with our base.
Hello, I'm Senator Elizabeth Warren. Thank you. And as a former professor, I am deeply concerned about the state of education in our country. We progressives have got to get our message out. Well, just last week, I had to sternly lecture an entire classroom of students who were completely unversed in the history of the women's rights struggle. Was I too hard on first graders? I think not. Now, there are some people, and for the sake of argument, let's call them idiots, who believe in a more traditional curriculum, but they would be wrong. That is why I am going to begin this evening's lecture by telling you all the jokes that feminists find funny. Would you like to hear them again? I'd also like to read you a few selections from my new book, Angry Progressive Nursery Rhymes. Well, we don't call them Mother Goose, no we don't. We call them Unappreciated Primary Caregiver Goose. You laugh, but this is how I got tenure. All right. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, he kissed a girl, and not too shyly. But he didn't fear. He knew in a year he'd be hired as the next Bill O'Reilly. Rub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub gave local officials angina. Police soon appeared, and one thing was clear, they'd have to leave North Carolina. And finally, Little Bo Peep has lost her speech. Mitch McConnell said she had talked plenty. So she's silenced for now, but she's taken a vow she'll be running in 2020.
Good evening and welcome to CNN. I'm Don Lemon.
And I'm Wolf Blitzer. Our top story tonight, breaking news involving First Lady Melania Trump once again caught plagiarizing. It turns out that the Lord's Prayer she recited at a recent rally was lifted word for word from a book called the Bible. I hope I'm pronouncing that publication correctly.
I'm being told that later we will interrupt our coverage of what Trump said to bring you round-the-clock coverage of something Trump did. We'll continue this process for the next 4 years. In addition, I'm now being told that I don't have an earpiece.
We'll also address those who say our coverage has become very, very one-sided. Hey, folks, we are in last place. That is not an alternative fact. We've got to do something.
Ratings going down, what'll we do now? Ratings going down, what'll we do now?
Don't take it out on CNN. Just because we have a leftist spin. Our job is tough, it's true. 'Cause faking news is hard to do. Conservatives all love Fox News. 'Cause they lack progressives' high IQs.
We're condescending, that much is true.
That means that we talk down to you.
Trump says that faking news is all we do. Now I know some is true.
I've said again and again, the Russians hacked the vote, so we should just put Mrs. Clinton in.
In non-Trump news, we like to close. The Ringling Circus has some stuffed doll shows.
But we blame Trump.
Based on what grounds?
His White House hired all their clowns.
Guten Abend. I am German Chancellor Angela Merkel. And not too long ago, I was in Washington, D.C. to visit with your President Trump. And after we finished our business, we went for what you call the photo op. And all the photographers were yelling, "Shake hands, shake hands!" But he wouldn't do it. I don't know, maybe he's just not used to grabbing a woman by the hand. At any rate, now that the Brits have pulled out of the EU and the US has pulled out of the world of reality, once again all eyes turn to Germany to bail out all of Europe, which would really annoy us if we didn't have such a good sense of humor. So, to raise money, we now present to you a new musical, Greece. Starring Greek Prime Minister Papadopoulos, French President Emmanuel Macron, and me, Angela Merkel. Play it! We can't tell Greeks how they should run their lives, but you cannot retire when you are 25.
We're all in danger, we should make a deal.
It's quite ironic that Greece is the squeaky wheel.
Greece is the
Greece is the worst, is the worst, is the worst.
Now the euro is in trouble and they like to blame the Greeks.
Keep talking, whoa, keep talking.
An economic bubble cause we worked in our weeks.
We'll keep the money, you better keep the money.
And gets to show remorse.
Not another Trojan horse.
Here's another way to go.
Charge $1,000 for each shadow.
Greece is frightening.
Go, 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 go.
Greece is frightening. You're wondering what the Greeks are doing.
Greece frightening, whoa, Greece frightening.
Oh, Greece is frightening. We've always had a thing for ruins.
Greece frightening, whoa, Greece frightening.
We're a real Achilles heel. Greece is frightening.
Mein heart is saying, fool, forget them. As head of state, I should let go.
I'd be rude to them. That's just what I intend to do.
We're hopelessly devalued. It's true.
Summer days, looking so lean.
Spending they beyond their means.
We just don't know what to do.
I'd surrender if I were you. There's no doubt we should not bail you out, but oh, maybe China might.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Tell me more, tell me more.
That's the best thing to do.
Tell me more, tell me more.
How about talking to who?
Huh?
Who? Who? The Chinese guy.
Oh, who?
China could save us for sure.
But in an hour, you'd be hungry for more.
China could give Greece a start. They could build a great Walmart.
Someone sane would not save us again, but we think China.
Good evening. Russian President Vladimir Putin, here tonight to welcome myself. Now, as you know, I have been big pain in the tuchus recently. I did not realize how much trouble I was in until I recently traveled to another European country. I had to go through customs, of course. They looked at my papers. They asked me the usual questions. They said, name. I said, Vladimir Putin. They said, the country of origin. I said, Russia. They said, occupation. I said, no, just visiting. You see, we can laugh, you and me. Now, among the people that I really ticked off was your former Secretary of State, John Kerry, who wanted to meet with me in Ukraine. I could not make it, of course, since I got snowed in. 2 for 2. And more recently, I ticked off your Secretary of State Tillerson. Now, this is very much a low point in our relationship. It makes me wonder whether I even want to serve on the President's re-election committee. But I digest. You know, I understand American politics. It's little more than a lot of song and dance. So here is a little bitty song and dance from me, Vladimir Putin. My name's Vlad when I get mad, and when there's pain, like in Ukraine, I send warships. Putin on a blitz. Russian force I must assert, don't you make me take off my shirt. You say tisk tisk. Putin is a risk. No. Though US makes threats, I just don't see ya coming all the way to help Crimea. Wouldn't wanna be every plan to stop their step makes me jump up and scream Niet when Cold War hits. I give your country fits. We are matching a width. Putin never quits. I'm Putin on a blitz. Damn. This song is a special message to the American people. Every click you make, each sick day you fake, every porn site break, Instagram you take, I am watching you. 'Cause your password's lame, your mother's maiden name. And I will not fail to read your email, I am watching you. No need to be Facebook friends with me. I can quickly get the name of your first pet. We spied on Hillary, hacked the DNC, and we told those freaks down at WikiLeaks everything we knew. Here in Moscow, we have got no laws. You're in our sights, we're just like Santa Claus. Know about bromance between you guys. Sad to say, I know your real bra size, and you lie on Match.com to me. I know where you've been, I know every sin. And considering I am listening, might want to change your pin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rachel Maddow. And I'm here tonight because, first of all, I think we can all agree that the last presidential election was particularly contentious. So, in an effort to bring the country back together again and inject a little humor into the proceedings, we have decided to hold a joke-telling contest featuring the two former presidential contenders. So please help me welcome former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton and President Donald J. Trump. Welcome. Welcome, both of you. Now, as I said, we are holding a joke-telling contest tonight, and to determine who goes first, I am going to toss a coin.
Oh, a coin toss. I love those. I always win those coin tosses.
It's obviously rigged. It's rigged. It's totally rigged. So unfair.
All right, we will just bypass the coin toss, and Mr. Trump, you will go first.
Yes.
President Trump, please tell our audience, why did the chicken cross the road?
I think it's obvious why the chicken crossed the road. The chicken crossed the road because there was no wall. There was no wall to stop the chickens. We need a wall to stop the chickens. A transparent wall that the chickens can see through, and so can Americans. We've got to stop these chickens. They just come into this country willy-nilly. They bagak across our borders, and they take the jobs of hardworking American chickens. It's gonna stop, folks. I'm gonna make it stop all by myself. And if I can't do it all by myself, maybe the Second Amendment people? Yeah? I'm not saying they should shoot the chickens, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, Secretary Clinton, why did the chicken cross the road?
I have had one position on this chicken and one position all along. Did the chicken cross the road? Yes. Did the chicken make it to the other side? No. Do we know why the chicken crossed the road? Yes. Do we know why the chicken never made it to the other side? No. Now, I don't think I can be any clearer than that. Thank you.
All right, President Trump, you have 30 seconds for a rebuttal.
Hillary Clinton hates chickens. She is not a friend to the chicken American community. Hillary Clinton is the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Many people say that. Many people say that all the time, so it must be true. They also say how much I love chickens, and I do. I love all chicken kind. I love all the different kinds of chickens. I love chicken nuggets. I love chicken tenders. I love chicken of the sea.
Somebody give him a script.
Chicken covfefe. Not just chickens. I love all things foul. Really, I love all the... I love birds. Don't you love birds? Americans love birds. I love birds. I love people who love birds. I have friends who love birds. I have friends who own birds. I have friends who own the Baltimore Orioles, the Atlanta Hawks.
All right, Secretary Clinton, you also have 30 seconds to rebut.
Well, perhaps the chicken crossed the road to avoid showing his tax returns. Perhaps the chicken crossed the road to get to the Cayman Islands, huh, Donald?
Wrong.
Well, maybe the bird never paid any taxes at all.
Look, I know you're suggesting that I'm the bird, and look, I paid taxes that one time. I did. I paid taxes
Well,
that
I
one time.
know you like birds because you tweet like one at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m. Tweet, 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 tweet.
Oh, you want a bird? I got one in my pocket for you. Read between the lines. There's a bird right there.
Real cute, real
You can
cute.
take this bird. It's an angry bird.
Okay.
I'll throw it at your stupid face.
Looks like a digit on the
Stupid
small.
face Hillary, that's what I call her.
Stop it.
She's got a stupid face. Her face is stupid.
Man,
All
baby.
right.
Stupid face.
Okay, stop.
Man, baby.
All right, hey, let's wrap this up with one more joke. What do you say? What do you say? Okay. President Trump, how many Democrats does it take to change a light bulb?
They would all try, but they would all fail. The American people knew that stupid face Hillary did not have the stamina to change a light bulb. I do. I know everything about light bulbs. Nobody knows more about light bulbs. I'm basically a professor of bulbology. My knowledge is bulbous.
All right, Secretary Clinton, how many Republicans does it take to change a light bulb?
You see, Rachel, I do think that is a trick question because none of the Republicans I know would ever change a light bulb. They would prefer to live in the dark.
Alrighty then, I declare this contest
Shimmy.
over, and the
Shimmy.
winner is anybody out there who's watching something else. Thank you. Good night.
Hello, I am Bernie Sanders. And as you can tell from my accent, I am from Vermont. People say Vermont is insignificant, but I'll tell you, Vermont has given us two of the most important Americans in history, Ben and Jerry. Now, as an independent, I never wanted to be a Democrat or a Republican. I refused to join any group that would have me as a member. That's a joke from my favorite Marx brother, Carl. Now, people ask me, Bernie, why were you so nice to Hillary during the campaign? In particular, that very, very first debate we had, well, I was in a particularly good mood that day. I had just come from the Million Mensch March. What, we got a bunch of goyim in the audience tonight. But I told her that night I was sick of hearing about her damn emails. Just like I am sick of the fact that my VCR has been blinking 12 o'clock for the last 26 years. Now, even though I was not the Democratic nominee for president, I feel I brought a very, very important message to the American people. If there are no rich men, if the 2% could see that being rich is not PC, I would spread their money all around. We could share the poverty, since they never work hard. If we go and eat the rich, just think how tender they would be. I'd eat Warren Buffett till I choke, 'cause things go better without guys named Coke. I'd give the poor good jobs back home in Vermont at new bed and breakfast by the score. Our maple syrup exports would start to grow, and we could feed the world 1 pint at a time from our surplus chunky monkey stash. If not, we'll send chocolate chip cookie dough. But now I've got a new plan. Since I did not win this time around, I'll pin my hopes on this. Maybe next time I will run again. Though I'm old, my odds are not insane. If the race was me and John McCain, then I would be the younger man.
As you know, the Senate went with the nuclear option and confirmed Neil Gorsuch as a Supreme Court justice. So now, of course, one of the issues that concerns the Democrats is the future of the court. Barack Obama appointed Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor, 2 of the youngest members of the court. But it was of great concern to many Democrats that these other 2 liberal justices were getting pretty old. So now there's a concern that these justices are holding on to their jobs longer than they should. But don't believe that. They're as spry as ever. And to prove it, the 4 liberal members of the Supreme Court have formed a fantastic singing group. You've heard of the Supremes. This is not them. Please welcome the disco stylings of Justices Sotomayor, Breyer, Ginsburg, and Kagan.
Well, we're a bit concerned, to tell the truth, about the health of Steve and Ruth.
Getting old.
So few friends.
Our legal briefs are now depends.
Are they all right? Are they ill? Don't give Trump more seats to fill.
If the court starts to sway, even atheists will pray.
Long as he is drooling, Justice Breyer can keep ruling. Gotta
Keep him alive. Keep him alive.
Older than you're thinking, Ruth babysat Abe Lincoln. Gotta
Keep him alive. Keep him alive.
Oh.
Oh.
Oi!
Keep him alive. I feel fine, especially since I got this fancy new hearing aid.
Oh, what kind is it?
About 8 o'clock. Why?
Well, you can tell she's a youthful 83, but Ruth has bras as old as me.
Is Breyer older than he seems? His pacemaker runs on steam.
I'm all right. I feel great with my grapefruit-sized prostate.
I'm okay. I feel fine after 2 bottles of wine.
Conservatives will fight him, and the thing we'll do to spite him is they're
Staying alive. Staying alive.
They're moving like a tortoise, and it's probably rigor mortis, but they're
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Shoo! Oh, oi! I think I broke my habeas corpus.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my great regrets during my presidency was my inability to bring peace to the Middle East, where many countries face a leadership crisis. As you know, we tried many options in Syria, and whatever happens, we know that the people of Syria face an uncertain future, because even if they're able to oust their president, Bashar al-Assad, there's always the danger that he will simply be replaced by his brother, Jeb al-Assad. Of course, I'm also concerned about my legacy. So I thought it would be interesting to talk with someone who 8 years ago was in the same position. Please welcome former President George W. Bush.
I think you're standing on a Pokemon. Maybe it crawled into your pocket. Let me take a Pikachu. I'm just kidding. I wasn't even really playing, but you knew that because you tapped my phone. Hey, before we talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about, can we talk about what I want to talk about? I got some things that
Good.
I don't understand. Okay, first thing. Now, last summer, everybody was talking about Brexit. And what's a Brexit? Is that what happens after you eat breakfast at Chipotle? Because I have an idea for Texas. We'll call it Texit. Because I think Texas might need to secede. It's important in life to secede. Anyway, last thing. The other day, I was reading, I know, right? And the article was talking about the Supreme Court and the history of all the Supreme Court justices. Is it justi? Justicles?
I like that.
I'm gonna go with justicles. I was reading the history of all the Supreme Court justicles and the rules that they made, and they made one in summer of 2015 on the people who have marriage with the same sex. That was good news, right, for the gays and the lesbians and the BLT community. You said no. You have no answers for me. Fine, I'll help you. You want to talk about like war stuff, right? Blowing stuff up. You bombed Syria. Then Trump bombed Syria. What do you guys have against that little voice in everybody's iPhones?
Look, that's not my problem anymore. It's in the hands of a new administration. Of course, there's some people who aren't too happy about that. I've even heard some people say, "Ain't no sunshine, now I'm gone. Things look bleaker every day. Every week Trump pushes through a new order, maybe two, his little hands signing away.
I had a fun time since I'm gone. Do you paint? I'll show you how. When I left, I'm sure you know, my approval ratings were low, but I'm looking real good now.
No, 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 oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no,
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. You should probably do this part. That's... Your legacy won't do too well.
But folks really miss Michelle. Now you wish that I was back, 'cause we people need Prozac.
But Obama's time is through.
Though it's strange, one thing is true. Orange is the new Barack. Now, I'd like to bring back two people who have finally united for the sake of the party. Hillary Rodham Clinton and Bernie Sanders.
All right.
Well, Senator, you ran one heck
of a campaign.
Thank you, Secretary Clinton. I was very pleased that even though it was a contentious race, we never once resorted to name-calling.
So true. But you know, Bernie, the fact that a fossilized socialist muppet like yourself got so far makes me think the voters were looking for something, anything, other than me.
Really? So that's the way it's going to be, huh? Let me tell you something. I wasn't sick about hearing your damn emails. I wanted more. Bring it on, woman. Let's go. Come on, right now. Here we go.
Come on, Hillary, now. Don't you remember how you and I patched things up in 2008?
Brain cell.
As I recall, we even had a song. Come on, sing it with me. Ebony
And ovaries
joined together in perfect harmony, just like Russian Olympic athletes. We've got chemistry. Well, you know that he could stand beside you wherever you go.
For some reason, he attracts young votes.
I'll take on Trump now that Trump is in the White House.
Despite the outcome, next to you, I'll look young.
Elderly and ovaries. Now the Senate still has a seat for me.
And I guess I'll go back to earning great big speaking fees.
I am turning my feel the burn into a deal for me. It will be the new slogan for the Samsung Galaxy.
Hello, I'm former Vice President Al Gore. And you may not know this, but last year was the hottest year in the history of ever. So I would like to remind you all that I told you this was going to happen. That is why I spend all of my time trying to find new ways to combat the problem of global warming. Because most Americans believe the best solution is to switch from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Good solution. I like that.
So I've been consulting with actual smart people, including expert astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mr. Vice President, glad to be here. Global warming is so serious. If the oceans rise, Los Angeles could be under 5 feet of water. Do you know what that means?
Tom Cruise will drown.
Well, yes, but not just that. If the Earth gets any hotter, and culture will thaw.
I heard that. I think the polar bears are disappearing. Looks like Al Gore ate them.
I hate you.
Hate you back. Hate you back.
Well, I have another expert. It's a Nobel Prize winning expert, Bob Dylan.
You know, this is really going to be. Because every time you know, work out the same thing because it's very important. But yes, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, Bob. Now we're gonna sing. There comes a time when you have to face the truth and find a way to make a deal.
'Cause the people claiming that climate change is fake also think pro wrestling is real. Bring on because proud of me.
Liberals would fight ISIS if we just tell them they emit way too much CO2.
We warm the world. We warm the children. We have increased greenhouse emissions 18 parts per billion.
warming is a hoax of liberal depravity.
And it's caused by all the hot air from the GOP.
Well, the right wing claims that lots of doubt exists. And then they'll say, hey, we're not scientists.
It's hysteria. We all just need to chill.
Instead of me, she'd rather trust Puxatawny Phil.
All right, everyone, sing along with Bob Dylan. We are the ones that make a better world for our grandchildren. With clean air and green fuel, that goal's not hard to get. And now it's time to leave here in my private jet.
Good evening, boys and girls.
Good evening.
I am Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. Yes, I am. Now, many of you will recall that the tie-breaking vote for my confirmation was cast by Mike Pence, the Assistant President. Now, these so-called experts who claim that I am totally unqualified for this job are the same education experts responsible for ranking the U.S. 25th out of 36 countries in math and science. Now, I think we can do a lot better than just barely making it into the top half, right? And of course, many books have been written on my thoughts about privatizing education. Of course, I haven't seen any of these opinions because, well, they're in books. But I'm going to be the best possible Secretary of Education because don't know much about history. Gonna throw out biology. Don't know if our kids beat Ecuadors. Don't know if Jesus rode dinosaurs. But I do know this much is true. Give senators $100 grand or two, and you could be in the Trump cabinet too. Class dismissed.
Buenas noches, ladies and gentlemen. Buenas noches, Enrique Peña Nieto, el presidente of all Mexico. And as you know, I recently canceled a meeting with your president over his plan to build a wall between our countries. But do not worry, I love your country very, very much. America and Mexico are very, very similar places. Only you have more Mexicans. But I love your country so much. I love it so much. I hope someday to immigrate to your country myself. I could perhaps do the job as your El Presidente. As you might imagine, I would do twice the work for half the pay. This does mean that 16 of my cousins will be living with me in the Oval Office. However, the Rose Garden will be immaculate. Now, you may ask if I am upset about your president's plan to build a 12-foot wall between our countries. Not at all, because I just opened a business that sells 13-foot ladders. Oh, jeez.
You bad hombre, you bad hombre. I know all about what's going on here. My administration is going to crack down on illegal immigration. My ancestors did not flee wherever they came from back in a long, long time ago just to come here and settle in a country that allows immigrants. Okay? I know all about your secret plan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your secret plan for Mexicans to own a part of Texas.
Okay, it's true. We're coming to buy up Walmart and Lexus.
Then Salma Hayek wants to buy all of our multiplexes.
Won't Bush be thrown the day I own his Crawford Ranch in Texas? And California we will own. Can't you just leave us alone?
You won't see our Congress voting your way.
They will if they want their nannies cheap and underpaid. And now the U.S. is overrun with illegal aliens. Soon you'll see the citizens of Mexifornia, my new home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight my nephew, Juan. Juan lives here in America. Juan loves being an American. He loves to do American things. He loves to drive his Toyota, to go shopping at IKEA. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to get rid of Juan. Without Juan, your salad would cost $500. Juan.
We're in a thicket, cause we like our food real cheap.
Juan. If he doesn't pick it, a grape costs more than a Jeep.
Please keep your masses of huddled and poor who yearn.
I can breathe free, which is good, given what I'll earn. One thing that we agree on when they build a border wall.
Builders in U.S. will cost a ton, son. A cheap workforce I'll require.
Who will Trump be forced to hire? Guys like Juan. That's me.
Though I proudly support the transgender agenda, bathroom access I'll thwart, I don't mean to offend ya. But dear LGBT, it is just not the time to add more to that queue, 'cause there's always a women's room line. If a he says he, she, I don't mean to prevent her, 'cause there's only one stall in the whole Lincoln Center. And the woman inside has 8 kids, maybe 9, and another gives birth while we wait in this women's room line. In the stall, hear the mom with her son. You said you had to go. Someone quickly yell, fire! Oh, when I reached the commode, the show'd gone on the road. Half the cast had retired. There's a lesson I'll bring to this whole female nation. We just can't go on with this bad situation. So let's gather together, our forces combine. Let's take over the men's room. It's their turn to wait in that line. Gotta go.
Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, for over 30 years now, the Capitol steps have mocked politics and stupid politicians. We've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. We've always said, what could be better?
Mixed up language.
Yeah, let me try that one again. JD's and Lentilman. Yay! For over 30 years now, the Capitol Keps have pocked politics and pooped politicians. We've seen the lies, we've seen the hoes. We've always said, butt could be wetter. Just whip your flirt and you'll hit the gang of us. You see, we Capitol Keps, we're all about the pearl of politics, where we have the Cremidats and the P-Republicans. Now, usually how it happens, the Cremidats screw up, so the P-Republicans party, yeah! But then the P-Republicans screw up, so the Cremidats party, yeah! You see, that's why it's called a poo-tardy system. Only now, along comes the pee-tardy. How does a pee-tardy fit into a poo-tardy system? I don't know. Those pee-tardiers, they love their leerless feeders. I mean, they all love parasailing, for example. Yeah, parasailing, her husband, Pod. Their 5 kidalids, Piper, Pillow, Pistol, Pack, and Pig. But over the years, when it comes to leerless feeders, we Staplekeps have been Larry Vucky. For example, when we start our guard, it was back under Resident Pagan. You remember Resident Pagan, right?
Yes.
He wanted us to gin one for the whipper.
Yep.
He bent to Berlin and said, Gister Marbichoff, wear down this tall. He was followed by the first of our boo tushes. That was Borge Werbert Hawker Gush. Famous for saying, lead my rips. Toe new naxes. But of course, he was just a ton warmer, and along came the leather mode of all political comedy with Clill Benton, alias Wick Slilly. When Lonica Mowinski thrashed her flong, Clill Benton said, Hory, Glalleluia! Well, this is my ducky lay.
I like it.
He was swiftly followed. Don't tell your parents I said that. By tush number boo, also known as Yubbledoo. Not the fartest smeller in the world. But with Chick Daney and Ronald Dumsfeld, they bent to Wagdad with buns glazing. And then, of course, we had Resident Pobama, who was Yansome and hung. But of course, Jadies and Lentilman, every your fears you chava hands to vow out and go, don't you? It was time for us to bast our callets. It was time for the AS of you to lick a new Peter.
Pick a new leader.
And oh, what a Peter we have licked, Jadies and Lentilman. We knew the path to the high was a long and winding load. And, well, okay, who were our candidates anyways, all right? Now, the POG, they chade their moist. The Republicans made their presidential prick. And they went with Tronald Dump. Finally, a Chamander Keefe that looks like a Loompa Oompa. It's like he fipped his dace into a chag of Beatos or something, I don't know. Now, the Tronald told us he plaza hand. He wants to break America mate again. Okay. Tronald wanted us to wink. He's just a gaverage eye. He's just a jagular old roe. But Fetzley said he is Rilthy Fitch. He's been Rilthy Fitch since the bay he was dorn. I bet when he was a kidalid, he was a broiled spat. What do you wink? But, you know, I can't vame the bloaters from the POG too much, really. I mean, Chuck, were their voices? Were they going to go with Cred Twos? The feisty-paced tenator from Sexus? Or Rarco Mubio and his rumble hoots? You know, his father was a tarbender, his hother was a mousekeeper. They came here on a coat from Buba. Or what about Beb? Beb. You know? Beb Jush. You know, the barter smush. Beb was perivopular as the Flovener of Gorda, but on the trampagne kale, he was a flig bop. Somebody needed to fight a liar under that guy. And I mean, what about the pests of the rack? I mean, what about the Jobby Bindle and Porge Jataki and Con Jasic and even Sic Rantorum? I mean, fuck were these guys winking, huh? And for the Cremidats, well, the Cremidats. The criminals went with the former Secretary of State, the Suez Janitor from Unork, and Bill's Spovely Louse, Hillary Hinton. That's right, despite Cerny Banders winning like Praff of the Highmarys, Hillary had the lamination all knocked up. Now, Hillary also thondered you to wink. She's just a gaverage owl that she puts her sant poot on one tag at a lime. Hillary may not be as rich as Dump, but she's got bite a few quucks to her name, too. Now, Tronnell told us that Hillary had pined her lockets with the ill-button goody from the Finton Cloundation. Hillary told Tronnell, you need to tea-lease your waxes and feck and forth and feck and forth and feck and forth, and he just didn't know who was telling the truth and who was telling a lurty die.
All right.
And then, Jason Letterman, just when you thought your presidential campaign could not get Strenny Ainger, who was knack in the booze? Anthony Weiner. I don't have to flip his name. That one's perfect the way it is. That's right, the Nate of our fashion was banging in the Hallants. It was hesting in the rands of a man who could not stop peating his tweenus. I mean, the IBF agents needed to know what is on Wiener's tap lap. Whoa, I thudder to shink about what is on Wiener's tap lap. And those poor IBF agents who had to lick through all of his cleamails, I mean, oh. I hope they had hooves on their glands, that's all I can say. But you see, Jason Letterman, the story of my Maury is this. In this day and age, it is hard to hell which candidate is curse and bitch is wetter. But it's KO, it's bot so nad, really. Just keep a little soap in your hole.
Open yourself, I know.
Because we knew whoever vought your goat, whoever prop to be the gesident, when you get to the end of the gay, when all is dead and son, when the ruzzards come home to boost, we knew it is Moo and Ye, the American Screeple, who would get pooed. Yay, poo. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. We are going to do one more song before we leave you tonight. Before we do that, I want to thank you guys for coming out here on a Sunday night. Hope you had a good time tonight. We had enjoyed your company an awful lot. Thank you very much. I want to thank Fairfax County Parks Authority for having us out here again. I don't remember how many times we've been out there. It's got to be like 10 times now. But, you know, honestly, I have to say, in all seriousness, of all the times we have been out here at Mason District Park, the crowds we've had, you guys tonight, by far the most recent. So thank you very much for that.
The most recent.
Really, true. For a couple minutes after the show, we'll be down here on stage. We'll have for sale our 3 most recent albums on CD. The newest one is entitled Orange is the New Barack. We'll also have some complimentary copies of the lyrics to the backwards song like I just did. We called it Lurdy Dies. I have to warn you, though, you take that home and learn it, you might start to stink like that. Check out the Capital Steps website, capitalsteps.com. You can download some of our songs there. Check out our schedule of shows all across the country. We make regular appearances downtown at the Ronald Reagan Building Friday and Saturday nights. Check us out down there. Great place to bring your in-laws. Or not. And of course, you always like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, because, well, that's how cool we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for this last song before we go, you know, we've made a lot of jokes tonight at the expense of our elected officials, our politicians, the campaign, life in America. We want to leave you all with just one final thought. Oh, Canada, could we come live with you? Now that it seems America is screwed.
We do know, and you've got Justin Trudeau.
We will learn about oh Canada, your football rules we don't know. Please let us come. We love Montreal. Oh Canada, oh let
right. On the piano, the one and only Howard Breitbart, ladies and gentlemen. The Capitol Steps, John Bell, Janet Davidson Gordon, Kevin Corbett, Barry Beard. I am Brian Ashworth, the Capitol Steps. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
The Capitol Steps, nothing like them in the world. Thank you so much. Our show on Wednesday night will be Ted Garber, that's Americana Rock. So please come back and see us all summer long. We'll be here and we hope you will be too.